it's happy time, people. Welcome back to Daily Wrap. It's time for Yea or Nay. First up, we all know that Donald Trump wants to make America great again. But does America stand with that sentiment? According to a new survey from Bloomberg Politics, we do. 72% of those surveyed believe America is not as great as it once was. The survey also revealed that Americans are fed up with politics. Really? They believe the wealthy get an unfair advantage. Really? And would prefer an outsider in the Oval Office. You got to be kidding. Yes, that's a good point. Is this the winning formula for Mr. Trump, Unger?
No. I mean, Americans have, it's probably all countries. Everybody has this nostalgic point of view about their country and the world. Let me tell you something. Life has never been as good as it is today. You think America was a wonderful place to live when you died, if you got dysentery or some infection that now
polio?
You take a pill or polio. Look, we need to appreciate this country more than we do. It can always be made greater. I'm all for it. But this is a great country, and we'll all be a lot better off if we started to realize that.
Are we? I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, because I can't remember like the 80s because I was a teenager, right? And then the 90s was all grunge. So is this the greatest time? I mean,
every generation thinks that it used to be
right.
so much better. The good old days is a reason that people sing about it.
Right.
But I think that Trump has risen the wave of fear and anger as far as it will go. And someone needs to take the baton and say, this is how we're going to make the country even greater. Because I do think that there's a dissatisfaction right now, and there are ways that we can improve.
Are you part of the 72%?
Look, I think that life before antibiotics was worse, but I don't know if it's the greatest time we've ever had. But here's what I do know. Supporting Donald Trump is supporting the only person who right now Hillary Clinton beats. Make of that what you will.
And but let me just say quickly, though, it's not about it being the best time we've ever had. It's about whether the country is great. And it is. Look, there's always going to be cycles in time.
We don't disagree. Fundamentally, it's a great country.
Try
and
living
one of the
during
things
the
that
Civil War in this country. And you think Congress is bad now? They used to beat the heck out of each other with canes on the floor of the House of Representatives.
If you go back far enough, you can always find bad stuff.
How far back are you going?
Well, that's the point.
Did.
If you go back 100 years, so I get it. It's not a fair comparison. What I think is interesting is the far left and the far right both indulge in nostalgia as opposed to actually making things better in the here and now. That's a bad habit.
I would argue that government ran a lot better in the 90s.
I think that's right.
Right.
I think it was more functional.
Less
polarized, more functional.
Right.
That's true.
Because John Kasich was running the budgetary committee and it balanced the budget. Anyway, here is some shocking news. The federal government has spent almost $500,000 on a survey that discovered something we already knew. The federal government is spending about $438,000 in your taxpayer money for a group of psychology students at Kalamazoo, that's a Michigan college, to find out essentially whether or not getting drunk and sleeping around will increase someone's chances of getting HIV. Researchers say they want to expand their testing to see how different behaviors impact groups outside of their normal scope. Can I just save the taxpayers some money and tell you that the answer is yes? When one gets overserved, one makes bad decisions. Any comment on that, Heather Hansen?
I absolutely agree, and that is why it is not worth what did you say? $480,000.
$438,000.
I mean, that's a big problem. This is why people hate politics, because that is a huge issue.
Yeah.
Right. Direct relationship between this and the first issue we did. You want to know why 72% of people feel they're gotten over on by the government? Because we pay to find out if you get wasted, are you more likely to get an STD?
But what we really paid for was some member of Congress wanted to do this for some university in his or her district.
This one's got more pork than a prime pig.
Well said. Finally, Halloween may be 5 weeks away, but it's never too early to get started on your costume selection. Move over, Caitlyn Jenner, and make way for the sexy Trump. Now only $69.95. Just go to Newsmax. No, we're kidding. Ladies can now dress up as the Donna T. Rump Shaker. Heather's nickname in her sorority. The costume comes with a sexier version of Mr. Trump's favorite navy suit, red tie outfit, but the wig and the hat will cost you extra. Has this given you guys any ideas for Halloween, Rick?
No.
Wow. Heather?
No, me either.
I know what I'm not going as.
Good answer. All right. Yes, well, that's all for tonight. What more can we really say? I'm Joe Concha on behalf of our great panel, our old school panel, as it were. Going back to 8 months of the show's been on the air. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Steve Malzberg Show. That's next.